Okay, this is the end of collective bargaining unit 6, then session 6. This is the end of the course, and I believe that with the thing that we have discussed, together with the book you have at your possession, you should be able to allude and appreciate the course and know some of these issues we have discussed. Now, in this session, we are going to talk about the termination, the leaving the service of the company. So, how the employees leave the shores or the four corners of the particular company, and then they need to be present and all that. That is what basically we are going to look at. Somebody may leave based on retirement, the person may be sacked and all that. That is what we are going to discuss. So, list the various means through which employees can leave the service of an organization. Various forms of termination, distinguish between employer-initiated termination and employee-initiated termination. And explain the procedure involved in employee leave-offs or the redundancy. There's some certain redundancy that goes with pay. You pay the person to go redundant. There's certain redundancy, the employer doesn't give the employee anything. So the termination of employment. 1. In case other than summary dismissal, the company may terminate an employee's appointment by giving him or her 1 month notice or payment of 1 month basic salary in lieu of notice. So, if for whatever reason, apart from dismissal, if the company wants to terminate an employee's contract or appointment, they are expected to give them 1 month notice and together with 1 month's pay or salary. But if you look at representation 2, where an employee's employment is terminated on the ground other than summary dismissal, the company shall give the employee 1 month salary in lieu of the notice. Termination may be affected by the company for just and reasonable cause involving any or combination of the offense in Appendix 1. So you can refer from the book to Appendix 1. How employee may be affected. Termination may be affected by the company just and because of the cause involved. As termination includes completing the disciplinary progression, the offense and the termination are also grounds for what? Then the summary dismissal, where the person is what? Ejected or evacuated from the premise of the organization. So in the event of an employee being found guilty of an offense warranting summarily dismissal as specified in Article 8.4, the company shall be entitled to summarily dismiss the employee without anything. That one they leave sometimes go with a bad name, they publish your name. With representation 2, summary dismissal may be affected by the companies for just and reasonable cause involving proving serious misconduct as outlined in the appendix. You can actually refer in the book. And as the rest. Now, resignation or resign. All employees who wish to resign from the service of the company shall give 1 month notice to the organization so that they can actually get somebody to come and replace. You don't leave the organization without informing them. And it should be 1 month. Other than that, you need to pay that money to the organization. In the event of resignation or termination of the appointment on grounds other than summary dismissal, an employee shall give notice of resignation to be given notice of termination. Now, retirement. So the statutory age for retirement, you all know, has been prescribed in the Social Security Law, which is 60 years. Retirement from the service of the company shall either be voluntary or compulsory. So there are certain people in the organization, when they go on retirement, voluntary, they can work for the organization. There are certain organizations, when it's your time, you leave. Whether voluntary or not voluntary, you are not obliged to work again within the organization. Your time has elapsed and you need to leave. An employee who wishes to retire voluntarily shall give the company 3 months notice. So an employee who wishes to retire. So there are certain organizations, the employee, particularly in action, they want to retire, will have to give the company 3 months notice before you retire. When the employee has reached the statutory age for compulsory retirement, he shall be so informed by the company 3 months prior to the date of what? Redundancy. In the event of redundancy, the company shall, if practicably or practicable, give the union 3 months notice. Selection of employees to the retained shall be determined by the companies after consultation and all that. So that's then severance or severance. This is not a form of separation but payment made to employee leaving the organization, especially in the case of redundancy. So severance is a form of, it's not a form of separation, but it's a payment that is given to employee leaving the organization, as in the case of redundancy. So in the event of possible severance, the union shall enter into discussion with the company on the matter. In the event of any liquidation or merger, the company shall negotiate the quantum, or in other words, the amount of severance or the severance paid to be paid with the union in accordance with the subsection 65. Then repatriation. Like severance, repatriation is also not a form of separation, but how an employee leaving the service of an organization is prepared to go back to his or her hometown or point of hire. So repatriation is trying to help the organization to go back to his hometown of which he came from. So sometimes they give the employee some transport system, they give them, not necessarily transport system, they give them transport services, sometimes certain gadgets or certain things that they can go home and use them. So when an employee leaves the service of your company due to retirement, for medical reason or redundancy, the company shall, for medical reason or redundancy, the company shall, if the employee requests, repatriate the employee, is registered dependent, and their personal effect to the employee's hometown. Representation 2 as follows.